everyone, welcome back to another episode of Liftoff with Jeannie Walden. I'm your host, Jeannie Walden. I survived Valentine's Day and I'm still doing that laughing yoga for sure. But on this episode, we're going to continue to blow your minds as we literally change the way TV production and broadcast works along with the internet. You're not going to want to miss this one. I want to thank you for tuning in, and I want to thank you for making the most of our show, giving us ideas on who we should have on the show and different topics we should cover. But if you're new to the show, let me just say I am so pumped to announce that every episode of Liftoff is now streaming on Tubi. So if you want to check back on some of our great experts from the first few seasons, we're there streaming for you, and it's free. So take a look and check it out. But right now, let's get to the good stuff. Making world history as the first woman of color to grace the covers of both American Vogue and French Elle magazines, Beverly Johnson forever changed the world beauty ideal. Her stunning face has been captured on more than 500 magazine covers, and her 2015 memoir, The Face That Changed It All, is a New York Times bestseller. Beverly, thank you so much for joining us on Liftoff.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Beverly, you're celebrating the 50th anniversary of your historic Vogue cover. Tell us what it's like to be the first Black woman on the cover of the world's biggest fashion magazine.
50 years. I can hardly believe it. And it is as exciting today as it was 50 years ago. And I'll tell you, the reason why I am so excited is that it is 50 years ago, but it also, I did not know I was the first Black woman on the cover. I needed the American Vogue cover to be the top model in the world. And that's what I was striving for. Being the first was an extra for me.
Well, it was an incredible feat, and 50 years goes by so quickly, doesn't it? It just seems like it was yesterday for so many things that have happened over our careers. But you keep moving forward, which is fabulous. And you recently completed your first one-woman show. I want to hear all about it.
Okay, my one-woman show is called Beverly Johnson in Vogue. I am still on the run, meaning that I'm still performing every night. And it's really exhilarating. I think that, for one, I co-wrote this show with a producer and a writer named Josh Ravitch, and he created Carrie Fisher's Wishful Drinking. And he also did Dick Van Dyke's one-man show. And he called the 59 East 59 Theater and asked them, because he had other plays there, they said, we would love to have Beverly Johnson. Beverly Johnson is New York, and it happens to be right around the corner where I got my first start with Eileen Ford. So that's how it all came about. I'm just embracing all of the miracles, really. I really am embracing all of the miracles.
As you should be, as you should be. I mean, you've graced the cover of more than 500 magazines worldwide. What do you see for models in the future, and especially for models of color in the future?
When I think of models in the future, I think of AI. And a friend of mine, they own an AI company. And, you know, models and people in every industry are kind of afraid of AI. I embrace the new. I really do. And I think that I told my friend who had a magazine who put a beautiful model on the cover of their magazine, Jen Lux. And in the heading, he went, "This is an AI that I created myself." She was stunning. I mean, she was stunning. And he wanted to do a cover of me. I said, I don't want you to do a typical cover with the camera of me. I want you to do an AI of me that doesn't necessarily have to look like me. It's what you think of me should look, or look how I look in another world. And that's what I want to be my cover. And then I'm going to send that AI out to do all the work. Is that great? Is that great?
So smart. So smart. That's great. And it's such a timely conversation because on our episode of Liftoff today, we're announcing what we are doing with AI and the content that comes out of it. So we're definitely very aligned. And Beverly, it was an honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being on Liftoff.
Thank you for having me, really. Hopefully you can get down and see the show.
Dan Baptiste is the Senior Vice President at Skyword, the global leader in content marketing. And in addition to being the SVP, Strategy and Brand Partnerships at Skyword, Dan's been a longtime business acquaintance and friend. Dan, I am so excited to have you on the show today because in addition to being awesome, we're here to talk about this business idea that we've been conspiring on, something so powerful, not just for this show, but for the entire broadcasting and media industry. Welcome to Liftoff.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Huge fans of the show, and I'm ready to disrupt broadcasting with you.
Nice. I love it. So right now, nobody besides the two of us has any idea what we're talking about, but we came up with this cool idea. I think you should share the news because you've got this unique perspective on what's happening in the world of media and broadcasting that is so spot on. I can't even tell you.
Awesome. Well, when you look at everything that's happening today, it's all about building audience, building audience. And when you look at how broadcast companies build audience versus the web, totally different, right? So if I look at your life, Jeanniey as marketer versus Jeanniey as broadcaster, two different people. Jeanniey as marketer, you have to find people all over the web, chase them down, create value, find them on different channels, and requires all of this content that you have to create. Jeanniey as broadcaster, you have to create and curate these really big ideas into these really small moments. We see them all in the show. It's amazing, but now they're locked up in these one format. So instead of having 5-minute segments, now we have emails and social posts, and really, how do we take and expand the reach and the engagement for audiences all over the web in partnership with generative AI?
All right, so let me just break that down for everybody because you said so much and it's a lot to take in, but it's so critical. Yeah. You are so right. In order for somebody like you to come on the show, we do all of this research. We get, 5 to 7 minutes of conversation. It comes down to an edited 3-minute segment. Yet, you've said so much. It's so powerful. It identifies your tone. It identifies and unlocks a whole set of insights and information. Normally, I'm running around trying to gather all that, taking notes. I'm asking my social team, my creative director to create all these assets. And of course, we forgot things. And then you've got all the stuff that sits on the cutting room floor. All broadcasters do. What you've done at Skyword is leverage generative AI and what we typically call the large language models to create for me and the broadcasting world the SLM, the small language models, so that we can take these interviews and these clips, but create massive amounts of content with them. And I know we're going to show some examples of how we did that with just a few interviews already.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you think about the way of the world, broadcast was created pre-internet, so it wasn't built for this distribution model, and the web is really scattered and distributed and doesn't have those as many of those big ideas. So kind of mashing these two things together, can we take these big ideas and bring them all over the web? It's truly amazing, and as we think about the reach we can have, the way that audiences can engage with the show, the value you can bring back to advertisers, it's truly transformational.
So Skyword and Liftoff are partnering together for this season to create this SLM. Did I say it right? Yeah, SLM, small language model, plethora of content. So I'm super excited that all of our guests will have the opportunity to feel the power of what Skyword can do and to leverage the reach of what Liftoff can do. And I think it's awesome.
We're thrilled, and we can't wait to get started.
Yes, great. Well, I guess everyone has to stay tuned to see what it looks like, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, Dan, thank you so much for being on Liftoff.
Thank you for having us.
Any last words of wisdom? I got you on that one. Dan is never speechless, so this is a big deal.
I had too many. Yeah.
So, look, everything you're doing personally, everything you do at Skyword. I just love you. I love the team. Hi, Andrew. I just can't say enough. But for everybody that's watching, stay tuned. We'll be back with more great content after the break. Dale Hansen Burke is the author of Strong Girls, Strong World, as well as 11 other books. She's an award-winning writer, editor, business owner, and foundation president. Dale is joined by our friend, Frances Tesmer, intelligent beauty educator and lead Rolfs Global founder and CEO. Welcome to you both. Thanks for being on Liftoff.
Thanks for having me.
How does investing in the education of women bring global change, creating a new future for everyone?
You know, it's amazing how much educating girls and women can change the entire world. Even the World Bank, which is, an amazing institution, when they looked into what would make the biggest difference in the world in terms of poverty, educating girls and women, they found would be one of the biggest things that they could do to change the world and get rid of global poverty. And they actually found that 15 to 30 trillion dollars is lost every year by countries that do not invest in women's education, lost in productivity and profits to countries. So it's an amazing amount of money that we're leaving on the table by not educating women and girls.
Wow, those are some fascinating and eye-popping statistics for sure. And Frances, I know you always have great things to add. So tell us from your perspective how Lead's global movement is supporting this transformation of women in the workforce worldwide.
Well, to begin with, we have over 8 million women in the beauty space, and these are registered beauticians. There's a lot more. So for us, for Lead to be committed to have these women, give them access to education so they can go to college and university and learn about science and technology and communication, etc., etc. It's a huge change for the world, because these 8 million women also sees millions of other women every day. So the ripple effect of that is huge. And I'm so excited about our movement. And I love what Dale is doing. It's all about education. Education is the biggest weapon we have against ignorance, against hate, against poverty, and so much more.
Amazing, amazing. I'm so excited. I really just have one more question for both of you right now. And that is, Dale, we'll start with you. What is the biggest change you hope to see in the opportunities for young women in the next 10 years?
You know, investing in education and really making sure that every young woman gets the opportunity to be educated as highly as she wants to be. Because it's not just education, it's not just a degree, it really is independence. It allows her to be responsible for her family. It allows her to be independent of an abusive relationship. It allows her to invest in things in her community and her entire country that will make a difference for everyone.
Wow, Frances, what do you have to add to that? I think that's great.
Beautifully said. I love that. It's so true. Every word of what you said, Dale. And it is about independence. And to me, it's about bringing the power back to girls and women. We are born with that power. And by the way, today we need collaboration and working with each other and helping each other more than ever. And education will allow women to do that, what they are good at naturally. But now with education added to it, they can do that. And I love the point that Dale brought about women in their family. The truth is, when you are independent financially, the dynamic of the family changes. And when that changes, the dynamic of everyone in the family changes. So education does bring that freedom and the power to be a productive and powerful human being and contribute to the world is what women want to do.
Well, you are two women on a mission to change the world, and we are on board. Anything we can do at Liftoff to help educate women and give them the opportunity, and young girls too, to change the world of the future, we are in. Thank you both so much for being on Liftoff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. A true beauty from the inside and out, Theodora Uniken Venema is the principal and broker for Downtown Brokers LLC, a full-service boutique real estate brokerage serving as a comprehensive source for foreign investors who seek a long-term commercial investment in the Florida dream. She saves seals in the North Sea, giraffes in South Africa, elephants in Tanzania, and just this year, added to the brood, Peppy, her koala in Australia. Theodora, you are quite the woman of the world. At 13, I understand you went climbing in the Alps?
Yes. So the Netherlands, outside of Amsterdam, Hengelo, where I was born, is a very nice country setting. So you have to picture this. Every morning, I'm on the bike with Mom in the little basket. I was very little at the time, sitting in the front basket, going to the butcher and the bakery, because that was the daily routine. That's how we do it in the Netherlands. There's no day-old bread. No, it's fresh all the time.
Right.
So life goes on. And at about 13, I decide, well, my brother went to camping, climbing school.
Okay.
I said, I can do that. I can do that too. So this is the first me that comes out. So Dad signs me up to climbing school in Switzerland. I take the train, 13, from Groningen, crossing the border into Germany. Oh yeah, passports.
Mhm.
Crossing the border into Switzerland, passports, in Basel. From Basel to Bern, and from Bern into Austria. 24-hour trip. Me at 13 with my backpack. And at Innsbruck, I had to get out of the train and climb to the glacier, because the cabin where I was going to stay with the boys, all boys camp, just a little cabin on the glacier. No facilities, no bedrooms, no bathrooms, just a hut. And that's where I started.
Wow.
And I became the first licensed female mountain climbing guide in Switzerland.
That is unbelievable. But your life's not just about adventure. I know that. You followed in your father and your grandfather's footsteps in studying law.
I certainly did.
So tell me, how do you balance a career like law and education like law with your adventure bug that drives you to travel? And how in the world did you end up in the United States?
It's an amazing story. Yes. I study law. How boring could that sound? Dad did it, Granddad did it, his brother did it. Granddad already invested in America. Dad was a business guy, running a bank, but a lawyer. I said, I got this. Yes, I'm a lawyer. Yes, that's a good base.
Right.
And then I decided I'm going to go to America because I'm going to specialize in international tax law. Now, it is the reason that the Dutch investors for hundreds of years have invested in America, even before airplanes, before they could go there to see. They invest in America. Kids in school, it's cool to wear American jeans, to wear American t-shirts, to wear American sneakers.
Yeah.
It's cool. That stopped me in America. I thought, I need to go to America when I get all my law studies specializations done. And I did. And it became the Eddie Murphy story.
The Eddie Murphy story. You mean
Yes.
the Eddie Murphy coming to America
Yes,
story?
that one. That one.
Well, what a great treat to speak with you today. I got to ask you, though, before I wrap up this conversation and let you go, how'd I do with your name? Because I know it was a challenge for me to pronounce. And on social media, you're Theodora from Orlando, to keep it easy. But
Yeah.
how did I do?
You did very well. So it's Theodora Uniken Venema.
Yes, well, my American accent will call you Theodora
That's
from
it.
Orlando. And I love your tagline. You live in Orlando, so it's visit the mouse and buy a house.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Walt sets the example. Walt was a dreamer, Walt Disney.
Exactly.
He loved drawing a mouse.
Yes.
What do you do with drawing a mouse?
Right.
Build an empire.
There you go. There you go. So you seem to have it all covered, and it was a great honor and privilege to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story.
Thank you so much, Jeannie. I loved it.
All right. Great, everybody. If you love that story, you're going to love even more stories that we have coming up after the break. Bita Safari is an Iranian-American philanthropist and entrepreneur living in California. She's the founder of GIGO CleanTechnology, a chemical engineer and a true trailblazing entrepreneur. I'm so excited and I'm obsessed with everything that Bita has done. You are going to love her. Bita, welcome to Liftoff.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Bita, you are doing just unimaginable things that are making the world a better place in so many different avenues, and I want to talk about all of them. So let's start out talking about GIGO CleanTechnology. Tell us more about what it is and your background as a chemical engineer and how it contributed to the success of what you're doing in the clean technology industry.
Right. GIGO Clean is a platform. It connects consumers to the local cleaning professionals by zip code. It works exactly like Uber for the cleaning professionals. Whether someone needs a house cleaning, office cleaning, window cleaning, carpet cleaning, they can download the app and create the profile and select the service that they want, and the cleaners get dispatched by zip code. While we were working on the technology side, I started to put more research on the cleaning side and learn about the cleaning industry, and the result was fascinating. It's such a large industry, but there is not really regulated. So as we were spending more time with cleaners, with the products they use, I thought that it would be better to start educating the cleaning professionals and let them know how they can be more efficient using less chemicals, preserve environment, and be cautious about their health. So through the app, not only people can, it offers convenient, it faster service, higher quality, and safer.
And it's also extremely affordable too, right?
It is very affordable.
Yes, I almost wanted to move to California where my in-laws live just so I could use the service because of everything that we've talked about so far. And what you're doing is truly amazing. It gives me goosebumps to think about how you're creating healthier lifestyles for people just by doing something good and giving the world a service that they need. Every time you talk about what you're doing, it's so inspiring and just so amazing. I mean, you're a hero of mine for sure.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I know people that are watching this segment are wondering how you're doing what you're doing and looking for advice. So what advice do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Entrepreneurship is a difficult task. It is not easy. From when I wake up, I usually around 4:35, and you probably have noticed that I'm always behind. I wear so many different hats. I run around, and but they already took the initiative to start. My only advice is don't give up easily. Just keep going. If they believe in themselves and the project that they are doing, they have to keep going. They cannot move, they cannot look backward. They have to always see what is next, what challenges, be ready to accept the challenges and then learn from them and move forward. This is the 5th time that we are developing the app. We failed 4 times. So
you learned 4 times. There's no failure. You learned 4 times.
I learned.
Well, you all heard it here. Never give up. No matter what, look forward and go forward. And someday you can be as incredibly amazing and inspirational as Bita. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody. There's more to come after the break, so stay tuned. I am so happy to be back in the kitchen with my favorite, Chef George Duran. He's here today to talk to us about some incredibly tasting looking salmon.
Oh yeah. This is called Moe salmon. I don't know if you've heard of it, but they are actually the world's largest producer of Atlantic salmon. And what I love about them is that they have farm-raised Atlantic salmon that comes all the way from Norway, Iceland, Scotland, Ireland, the Faroe Islands, Canada, even Chile, actually. And what's nice about Moe is that they have the highest certification in the industry. And that means you get quality salmon. So if I show you one of the salmons that they have, you see these little white lines here? That's called marbling. You want that in your salmon. That's going to give you a lot more flavor, texture, and also omega-3 fats, which are really good for you. You know that, right?
I do know that. And last time you were here with Moe salmon, I bought an air fryer.
Oh,
because you showed me how to make that salmon in 6 minutes or less, and it is delicious.
the
beyond.
best way to cook salmon, in my opinion, is the air fryer, without a doubt.
But now I'm looking at salmon pizza, and I'm looking at salmon cubes, and I'm looking at a beautiful salmon dinner, and I smell brown sugar. So tell us what we got.
It smells like Easter, you know, that's what it is. You know, Lent,
it does.
Easter. What's nice about this hour is these salmon are in 24 hours. It's processed and it's in your supermarket in 24 hours. And that, you know, its freshness is about the orange colors, the moist textures, and it's never been frozen, by the way. So we're going to start off with a few recipes. We're going to start off with some salmon bites. And this is my salmon bite with crispy pistachio crust. It's a thing of beauty because what you can do is you can take some salmon, like Moe salmon over here, cube it up like this, and then add your little crust on top of it. That's pistachios, breadcrumbs, Parmesan. And then what you're going to do is you're going to be coating the actual cubes into a secret weapon that everybody has, honey mustard. You can make it yourself, or you can buy dressing, a store-bought, not a problem. And that's going to be kind of like your, you know, your wet rub, or so to speak. And once you actually add a little bit of that salmon on top of it, the Moe salmon on top of it, you're going to go ahead and take that pistachio crust, pop this into your air fryer, and look what we get, guys. You get these nice salmon bites with a sour cream, lemon, chive kind of dipping sauce. It is a thing of absolute beauty. And then we have this fantastic package that you guys saw that comes in numerous portion sizes for Moe. And the beauty of that is that you can feed a large family instantly. And what I have here today is a brown sugar salmon with citrus fennel salad. Fantastic for Easter, serving it as a brunch. These flavors of the fennel and the orange marry perfectly with the Moe salmon. And you mentioned this guy over here. This is one of my favorite of all Moe products. It's actually a lightly smoked duck trap salmon. And what's beautiful about duck trap is that it's the best of both worlds. If you like smoked salmon, well, this is the flavors, the smokiness of smoked salmon in a salmon fillet. That means it's still raw, but you get deep, smoky smoked salmon flavor to this. And this is going to be perfect for a flatbread pizza that I've made here. It's a bed of cream cheese. You have a little bit of red onions. The lightly smoked salmon from Duck Trap is going to make a perfect kind of a appetizer, maybe a main brunch that's going to truly wow your guests without a doubt.
This looks so delicious. Now, where can I buy Moe salmon? Because it looks very high quality.
Yeah, if you go to moesalmon.us, you'll find everywhere that you can purchase it. There are some fantastic podcasts that I'm hosting. It's called Decoding Seafood by Moe.us. But most of your supermarkets, in less than 24 hours from processing, it goes into most of your supermarkets, and you can find quality salmon that is raised in farms on the sea, which is very important too. And you could tell from the quality, and again, that marbling. When you see that marbling and that bright orange color, you know it's quality salmon.
Chef George, thank you so much for joining us. While I finish up eating everything here, sorry crew, you might get something small. I'm just joking. Look, head over to Tubi and check out any of the episodes you might have missed. Get ready for this one. It's going to be amazing. And be sure to follow us on social for more great tips behind the scenes and incredible guests. See you next time.